This is me working from home this morning, and I'm doing a little bit of my online hormone course, and I'm just working through the estrogen section. So a lot of women are struggling with estrogen dominance, and the reason why we get estrogen dominance is because of various factors. So we have things like the contraceptive pill. So if you've been on the contraceptive pill for quite a long time, you're feeding your body with synthetic estrogen. So that's not natural estrogen. And this is where, as you begin to also come off the pill, the symptoms of estrogen dominance may start to appear. So those symptoms look like migraines or headaches. They can also be excessive bloating, really bad water retention, and you may find that your mood changes. So you may feel more depressed, irritable, angry, and you may also have the cramps like right deep down in that lower belly area. And some women also have lumpy breasts as well, and this is all a sign of estrogen dominance. There are more symptoms which I'm covering in my course. Now, it's not just the contraceptive pill that causes it, but there's also the xenoestrogens. So we have to think about the products that we're applying to our skin. So if you're using lots of synthetic chemicals in body washes, hair wash, the makeup you're using as well, skin lotions, what are you applying topically on the skin, everything is bombarding your body with these xenoestrogens and feeding estrogen dominance, and then symptoms come along. So you have to eliminate as much as possible the products that you apply onto your skin as well as what you put into your body. And then the other factor is animal products. So if you're having so much dairy, as an example, that animal already has estrogen. You're putting more estrogen into your body, even though your body has a lot of estrogen. So what do you think is going to happen? You're growing that estrogen, you're feeding that estrogen. So when estrogen grows too high, it has a knock-on effect with progesterone. Progesterone starts to lower. And then when also estrogen goes too high, your thyroid starts to go lower as well. And in some cases, when you have estrogen dominance, it can cause Graves' disease, which is what I had. And in also other cases, you might go the other way and have Hashimoto's disease. So estrogen dominance is massive. It's huge. It's not just in women, it's also in men. So men usually get it when they're older, because their testosterone levels are lowering. And it's to do with our environment. It's just too much toxicity around us. And then the foods that we're putting into our body, we need to be eating foods to eliminate this estrogen, which is the fiber, which I'm always telling people to eat. Make sure you have soluble and insoluble fiber in your diet, because if you're not, how do you think the estrogen is going to get out of you? You've got to get that estrogen out. And in my course, I'm covering the different types of estrogen, because you have good estrogen, you have bad estrogen, just like you have bad bacteria, good bacteria inside of our gut. So we have to have good estrogen, and we also need to eliminate the bad estrogen, because that bad estrogen is obviously not good for us, because long term in our bodies it can create cancers. Breast cancer is one example, but it can also set off other kinds of cancers as well. Again, I'm covering this in my course. So you have to have the fiber in your diet in order to eliminate the bad estrogen. Now, there are foods that help us to grow our good estrogen, which is what I'm going to be covering in my course. It's also in my books, but I don't tell you specifically what foods, but it's still in my book. So if you ate the diet that I'm telling you to eat, you would be feeding your body the right way. And it's always fiber. It's always fiber, but not too much. So you work with how much you feel is good for your body, because there's a lot of people with irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is covered in my book, Beauty and the Gut and How to Reverse It. Irritable bowel disease, at least stop the pain and the inflammation and manage it through diet. Crohn's disease, if you have it, if you're not on the highest spectrum for it and you've not had obviously any parts of your bowel removed, you can actually help to reverse Crohn's disease, as I say, as long as you haven't had parts of that bowel removed. And it's all about diet again, and this fiber is such the missing important link in our diet. And there are cultures in the world who are getting enough fiber in their diet and they have really good health. But if you're in the UK, especially in the area I am, when you go into the supermarket, it's very limited fiber because it's all processed food. And this is what predominantly most people are living on, the processed food. And this is something that I used to do as well when I was younger, because I didn't understand about nutrition, and hence the reason why I had really bad skin. I also developed an autoimmune disease. And this is why I'm helping people now, because you are what you eat. And if we don't feed our bodies the right nutrition, then your body can't work properly. We are made of nutrition. We're not made of pharmaceutical pills. We are exactly what we feed ourselves, and we are also how we digest our food. That is so important, because if you aren't digesting your food, that food cannot get into your cells, because you have to have a really healthy small intestinal tract in order for the nutrition to get into the cells. So many people don't. They have the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. They have their leaky gut. They have this gut dysbiosis, the bacteria is in the wrong place, and it's experiencing all of this the bloating, the pain. Every time you're eating food, it's like gas going off inside of your gut, and then it's like you either fart it out, burp it out, or it's like you blow up and look 9 months pregnant, and it's because we're feeding our body the wrong way. So our bacteria is in the wrong place. We haven't got the right bacteria as well. And regardless of whether you eat healthy food, bad food, whatever, it's just gas is just setting off inside of your gut. So when this is happening, you're also feeding that bad estrogen. It's coming back to the estrogen again. When you're feeding that bad estrogen, it's just going around your body, and then every month comes along and it's like, oh, my boobs, oh, I feel like shit, oh, I'm so tired, and all these symptoms come because you haven't eliminated the bad estrogen. And it's going to continue to happen unless you actually address what you're putting into your mouth and what you're putting onto your skin and what you're breathing in, and everything is connected to our well-being. So what you have to figure out is what food is causing you the estrogen problem, what food is giving you the hormonal pain every month, what supplements can I take to stop the symptoms, and also how stressed out are you, because cortisol also causes an estrogen dominance, which is, so if you've had, for example, last month your period was amazing, you've been really good with your diet, everything went really super duper well, and then wow, life just got mega stressful, and then next month your period comes and you have just the worst pain ever. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're like, I've done everything right. If you've had a stressful period in your life, that stress can also raise estrogen, especially if you are someone who already has an estrogen dominant body. I'm one of those women because I was on the contraceptive pill for about 5 years when I was younger for acne. So my body is heavier on the estrogen side. And because I had radioactive iodine, which destroyed my thyroid, that means I also have a low thyroid now. And when you have low thyroid, it usually comes hand in hand with high estrogen, low progesterone. So getting back to estrogen, progesterone, those two have to be working together like so. So if that estrogen goes up like this and progesterone starts to lower, then those symptoms for estrogen are just going to go up and up and up. So what we need to do is start to raise progesterone. If you're someone who suffers with low progesterone, which most people do, it can go the opposite way. It's very rare, but it can do that. We've got to get them back here, and we can do that with diet, which I'm going to be teaching you through my course. Or of course, you can take bioidentical hormones to help with that as well. Progesterone just helps to balance things out, and this is where the progesterone can come in and help with some symptoms. So you need to be eating more plant-based foods for a start to help with that progesterone. So these are just some things for you to take away with you now and think about. I am going to have this course available for you in about another year's time. If anyone wants to book in with me for one-on-one coaching, I do that online through WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom, whatever works for other people. I do that all over the world. And otherwise, you can just read my books now, because you do need to get a start with understanding that your gut plays such a huge role in how our hormones work, and also how your skin looks, if you've got skin problems, if you have any other health issues as well. So I had autoimmune, but yes, it was thyroid, but it's still autoimmune. You have to address the autoimmune through your immune system. And if you have any condition going right now, you've got to look into your gut health and start repairing that in order to heal your body. I'm Dani Jackson. If you want to learn about me, please do go to my website, DaniJacksonHealthEmpowerment.com, where you will find a list of all of my services. My Amazon shop is there, my yoga and Pilates classes if you're in my area. I do have a few online on YouTube as well, but I haven't made them in a long time. That was through COVID. And my hormone course and books is there too. You can buy my books now, but my hormone course, put your name on for the email if you're interested. Sending you lots of wellness wishes, guys. Have a beautiful day. And I hope that was in some way informative. And I'm going to crack on now with the rest of my hormone course. Have an awesome day, guys.